Hello, everyone. This is Becca Victoria. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, RTT practitioner, and therapist, NTT coach, practitioner, and therapist. Welcome to Embodied Shift. Jonna and I explore real change where subconscious healing meets higher guidance. Please do subscribe and thank you for being with us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonah. I'm an intuitive coach, and my work is about remembering who you are and trusting your inner knowing. Our question is, why do we numb our emotions, and how can we start feeling again in a way that actually feels safe?
So most people think numbing is weakness, a lack of discipline, something to be ashamed of. But here's what I know from working with clients in deep subconscious work. Numbing is brilliant. It was the smartest thing to do at that time, right? The problem is it learned that feeling was dangerous when you were very young, and it's been running that same program ever since. So I just had a client this morning actually, and she works this. She used this word numbing. She had a lot of trauma growing up, right, when she was 5 or 6, and now every time she feels not safe. The thoughts that comes to mind, it's like, okay, I want to take a shot of liqueur or weed, or she said she would smoke weed, right? So these are just one of those things that people do, numbing. It's such a, we hear this all the time, don't we? Oh, I just trying to numb myself. So I do all these things. I drink, I do drugs, right? But when I work with my clients, I would ask actually during the session, I want them to feel that those emotions, it's hard. It is hard. And me being there with them, it's also hard for me, you know. I can almost feel what they're feeling at that. So, but today actually, she had another breakthrough. She said, "Oh, I feel those emotions." And after that, she felt better because she didn't know how to handle them before, right? She's using alcohol and weed to numb herself. So feeling the emotion is such a great way to heal, right? And I know it's hard. I still, in the process of healing myself every day. It is hard, you know, but it's just a great way to get out of that rut sometimes. If we just keep numbing ourselves, what kind of life we are making for ourselves, we're creating for ourselves, right? So what I can really what I can contribute to this conversation is that as much as just thinking about it, it's hard to just like, oh no, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel the sadness. I don't want to feel that grief or fear, right? We just have to feel those emotions because, for example, this is a good exercise actually. We can, the sadness came to us, right? And all these emotions, they're just like, they're passing emotions. It's like when, it's like a cloud, right? It's up there now and it's going to be gone. So that's what our emotions usually are. They're there now and they will pass. And what I would tell my clients, acknowledge that emotion, whatever it is, sadness, right? For example, and then acknowledge it and feel that emotion. Okay, you're here, fine, okay, and process it in such a way that why am I feeling this way now? And a lot of times it's because of it triggered just somehow, whatever it is, right? You got triggered, and then you just accept it. Okay, you're here. You acknowledge, you accept, and then articulate it, meaning, okay, I'm feeling sad. And I'm going to feel sad right now. I'm going to allow myself to feel sad. And that's totally okay. I love it when we can do that because we don't need to say, okay, I feel sad. I'm just going to, get a shot of tequila, vodka, whatever else, right? Hold on to that. Just do this exercise. The three A's: accept, articulate, and acknowledge.
Honesty is definitely powerful for healing. I've seen, even for myself, and people and friends and clients, numbing is a coping mechanism. It's an overload of your nervous system. You want to protect yourself. You want to feel safe. And so you don't want to handle that emotion at that moment because it's way too much. And you feel like you're gonna break down. I'm breaking down if I don't get that shot of alcohol, or I want to numb myself. And I've seen this clients or friends where I need to go to a party but I'm feeling sad, so why don't I take a shot of alcohol to numb myself? And so when I'm in front of people, they wouldn't even know that there's sadness in me. And a lot of that is now really acknowledging who you are and what you're feeling at the moment. Like what you said, you have to acknowledge, because being honest with yourself is powerful. And when it comes to, healing from numbing, because you don't want to numb yourself forever, it works at the moment when you're needing it at that moment because it's saving you at that moment. But if you numb yourself for a lifetime, you're not going to experience life the way it should be. And my formula for being able to even get to the point where it's okay to not numb myself is to have compassion for yourself. When you have that energy of compassion, when you're numbing yourself, or especially when you're trying to feel, because when you're starting to feel compassion for yourself, you're going to be okay with the sadness. You're going to start feeling okay that, okay, I'm sad, but I do, I love myself. I have compassion for myself. When you start feeling that energy of compassion for yourself, it allows you to give yourself permission to be sad. So normally, Rebecca, subconsciously, when people are always numbing themselves, where's the turning point where they would say, I'm done numbing because I want to live my life now? Do you ever?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because they come to me in different stage of their lives. Some of them, they're young and they're already searching for healing, right? Some of them, they're in their 70s and they're still searching for healing. So and I still really, I love that still, because there's never like too early to heal, and there's never too late to heal, right? So I love it whenever they're in their stage of their lives. That's okay. There's no such things like, oh, I went down this rabbit hole all my life, or I screwed up my marriage and now I have to do this. I think it's more about like when we reach to that point where it's more like spiritual, I think, right? And like I said, I see people as early as in their 20s, right? It's like, that's so amazing that they can already feel that, okay, I don't want to live this kind of life, and help me. So, and those people, those who are ready to really live their lives in a beautiful life. And also there are clients who's like, oh, their parents told them, or their cousins told them, their neighbors told them, hey, you need help. You have to see someone to help you. Those clients, almost always, they're not gonna get the healing they want, because it's not coming from within. They're just, people are telling them, hey, look at help. I think you need help. But they're not telling themselves, oh, actually, I do need help. Right? And for a lot of people, they think they don't need help because they think they're strong. I can actually give you an example of this one. He's a CEO of the company, right? He thinks he's the best. They have this ego thing going on, right? I don't need your, but he came to me, and he being he's so smart, right? Everything is logic to him. Nothing. He's not feeling his emotions, right? It's just logical. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? My point being is, when they come to me for help, almost always, they decided for themselves that I'm ready to find a life, to create a life that I that they deserve. And with your energy healing, what sort of clients are they?
Oh, what do you mean by what sort of clients?
Like, where are they in their lives that they decided, or
The one that are coming to see us
yeah.
for help. You know, when you are at the stage of wanting to get some help and doing it professionally, you're really in a stage of knowing already, like knowing something steering in you that I deserve more. I'm sure there's so much more out of life. I don't want to be in pain anymore. I'm sure there's an answer out there, and I'm just wanting to really reach out. And that's the excitement of that. And that's the magic of that, because like you said, transformation can only happen when it's coming from within. Actually, the answers are already within, but we need help to for someone to see that greatness in us. We need someone to just kind of hold our hand or just be a hope of what that is that we remember internally. That's why we're refusing to say this is not me. I mean, I lead this very painful life, and all my stories, it's all about, and I've been there too, being sick, parents dying of cancer. Sister died cancer really, really young. I've been through all of those stories. And there's a moment in time where you're saying enough is enough. I want to be healed. I know there's something more in life than this. And honestly, like what you said, like for people who were just said to go for coaching or whatever it is, to get some resolution in what they're going through, or to just get some help, it doesn't really work. I've had people around me who would say, hey, I want to buy a coaching session for someone that they love.
Mm.
Do you know how many times I've refused and said, please don't? you know and that's me not wanting the business, because I want them to actually have that transformation. I said, that's wonderful that you want to gift it, but I want you to first ask that person if they're open to it. If they are, that's wonderful. It's going to be the greatest gift. It's going to be a gift that's going to transform their life. But if you're trying to gift it, so then you think that they're going to get help, but they're not on board, please don't. If anybody's in that situation right now, like, because you love them so much, you want to gift them something wonderful as having a coaching session with someone, please don't. It's because the change really has to come from within. And again, your question, Rebecca, is a really great question. We all know, and I know all of our audiences that are listening, they're actually drawn to us, to Embodied Shift, because they know that we're all awakening right now and we're all shifting. We all know that there is something better, that we all know that we deserve something better in life. Don't you see your clients just knowing that, but they don't know how to articulate it, but you can see it in their soul, that there's so much more in them, that there's so much greatness in them, regardless of how difficult their life is at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because I do my practice on Zoom, right? Even then that we're doing it on Zoom, I can feel that. Like you said, there greatness in them. The fact that they reach out, they want to experience a beautiful life, not the trauma, not the those experiences that they had during childhood that is stopping them from what they could be as an adult, or even really, I mean, older, they're still searching for that. And it's so beautiful to see. And so when I said in earlier, that's how are we gonna, those exercises, right? Because I just want to make this clarity to our audience, because the thing that frustrates me about a lot of wellness content, right, it tells you just to sit with your feelings. It's not what I meant, right? Acknowledging, accepting, and articulating it is one, but you don't sit with your feelings, right? So what I mean when I say that is, it lean into the discomfort, right? And I understand and understand that intention, because our nervous system, and that's That's our alarm system, basically, right? It's telling you something. So, and if we are wired by, if our nervous system is wired to shut down, and I want that to change, right? Don't sit there. Just really feel that discomfortness of that emotion, right? I know, I understand, totally understand how it's like, how it feels like. And the other thing is, we cannot think our way into feeling, right? We cannot willpower our way into emotional openness. We cannot. No, it's all about emotions. It's all about feelings. And this topic is such an amazing topic, because a lot of us, we do numb ourselves. And as human being, as human, it's our privilege actually to be able to feel, right? It's our gift. That's why, we're different from other species in this world, right? So, and this is how I really love what I do when I work with subconscious, in subconscious level with my clients, because our subconscious doesn't respond to logic, right? It responds to safety. And until the root cause is actually resolved, not managed, not coped with, actually resolved, the wall stays up. It's gonna be there, for however long you want it to be there. So I do encourage our viewers to do this exercise that I shared, the 3 A's, right? Accept it, acknowledge it, and articulate. But don't sit there.
What? Sorry.
No,
What were you saying?
I was just saying, don't sit there. Don't sit there forever.
It's definitely well said. Like what you said, be honest. And that's the first step, is that awareness. And that's already a win to celebrate. And that's like, for coaches, I love that about you, your gift. When you're sitting with your clients, because you're able to feel them and you're able to really get down to the root of what's causing the discomfort. It's quite amazing to see. And I've also experienced that myself. And you're being able to intuitively guide your clients on what the next steps would be. And I think it's a gift where, it's coming from a place of love. That's why it's going to be an effective energy to be able to guide people to where they need to be. And your steps of, being aware is really key. We cannot sugarcoat things. Energy is not something you can fake. You have to be honest. You have to be authentic. If you want growth in your life, you have to love, like, everything about you. Don't judge yourself. Even the things that you're judging yourself with, that you think are wrong, there's no right or wrong of feeling. You're not going to be able to get out of feeling sad by thinking that it's wrong to feel sad, but have that energy of being okay and being loving, because now I'm aware that I'm sad and I'm okay to be sad, because that's really an energy of showing yourself that you love yourself. Because first time in your life, you're going to acknowledge, this is who I am at the moment. It doesn't mean I'm going to be like this forever. It doesn't mean I'm going to be sad forever. But even in these moments, I get to love myself. And that's coming from a place of compassion.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm excited, guys. Becca and I were working on a seminar to bring to everybody. And of course, she's going to do her magic on the subconscious, and I'm going to do my magic on the healing side, which is really the reason why we have Embodied Shift. Because Rebecca, I've been honored. Like, she has helped me with past life regression, and it did change my life. And we've been honored to be able to, even before we started, we actually paid for each other's services to better our lives. And
Yeah.
so when we were having, this magical moments to each other, and we told each other, hey, we can actually bring this to people as a complete package. That's why we have Team Up, and that's why we are here in front of everybody. Because of that seminar, we want people to be aware of the formula that has worked for her and that's worked for me, to be able to bridge the gap of a real transformation. That's why we're talking about real life situations that is happening. So we'll keep you guys posted when that happens.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And just to add to what you said, the healing that I received from Jonna was profound. You know where I really needed it, right? And now I just continue to every time that I feel that I do think that I need your guidance, energy healing, and all that. I always, asked you for it. Really, even before our conversation, even sometimes during our conversation, the live conversation that we have. So I really thank you for, the help that you've given me. It's so profound and just really grateful.
And likewise, because we are all having our journey, and even I, with my own clients, with my friends, and I would always refer Becca, because if there is something, it's a root problem and they're not ready for a higher energy, and if I think that she's gonna be the one, and this is how you would know that when people are giving service, when it's coming from a space of love, they would always want the best, for the best interest of that person.
Yeah.
And I love that I know of many coaches that I would say, oh my gosh, like this would be like a fit for you right now, because this is what you're going through. Because we all have, you guys would probably wonder why we're both coaches, and we're not like, because we all have our own expertise, our own magic. And we both know that people are going to be drawn to us, because they're just going to be aligned to, to what they need at the moment.
Absolutely. So, yeah, really excited about that. And I think hopefully we can do it in May, sometime in
Yes,
May.
yes.
So look for that. And so if, I'm just going to leave this with you guys. If you've been numbing, you are not broken. You adapted, right? You survived. And now there is a way through. Always, there is a way through.
And I'm going to end it with compassion. Compassion for yourself, to yourself, compassion for others. It really uplifts that energy, and it's going to get you curious on how it feels like when you're not numb, because you're going to have that love for yourself that's going to free you from that pain. And
with that, well, thank you all so much for being here with us today.
Thank you all so much. Till next time, please don't forget to subscribe. We would